Hey there, thank you so much for being here. I'm Amy. Hopefully you know that already. We are 8 weeks into this 11-week course, and I know it's been kind of like drawn out, but I hope that you've been able to just have, even if it's a reminder every week of this lesson, I hope that it's been beneficial for you. So, Think and Grow Rich and A New Earth. Both of these would be great investments if you haven't bought them already. And my insights for Think and Grow Rich as it applies to the mindfulness and the presence that the Eckhart Tolle book kind of overlays is, I think, something that we're going to see a lot in the later half of this course. So the last 4 lessons are all about the brain, subconscious, your sixth sense, and sex transmutation. I think that one's going to blow your mind, possibly actually blow your mind. So week 1, let's just kind of recap for everyone. And week 1 is all about creating your desire, or week 1 is all about figuring out what you want. And as you will start putting the pieces together for the steps and the principles of this course, you will realize that you have to choose something. You have to just pick something, even if it's not the ultimate goal in your life. You still just need to pick something and grasp onto it, like emotionally and psychologically, to be able to accomplish it. So week 1 is all about, it outlines how you create your desire, and it's 6 steps to manifesting it. Week 2 is all about faith, developing self-confidence, and the idea that what you want to accomplish is possible, and your belief beyond the known, beyond what your mind might think about it. It is having that belief before you have the physical reality and the physical manifestation of it. Week 3 is all about autosuggestion. So this is the idea that our minds and our subconscious is programmable, as in the same way that you can load an app onto your phone. You can load a thought or a pattern of thought onto your subconscious. So week 3 is all about autosuggestion. You can add those programs and those thoughts into your brain. And with practice, you can change your disposition. You can change your belief system. You can change your outlook on life. And like, for instance, if you are maybe from your childhood, you feel like you have a negative disposition. Like I really felt like that for many years, because my mom was just kind of like negative, and I felt like, oh, because of that, I'm also negative. And so I have been able to kind of tweak my own psyche and my own programming to not be negative, to be encouraging and optimistic and joyful. And it took some work. It took some positive affirmations. It took meditations where I constantly really just encouraged myself, but I planted those positive words and thoughts into my own subconscious. And it's so possible. It's very, very possible. The 4th lesson was on specialized knowledge and organized planning. So basically, specialized knowledge is the idea that if you don't have the knowledge, you can go to continuing education and gain additional knowledge, or you can organize knowledge from a library, other people, really gaining their knowledge and adding it to your own repertoire. And that might be, needing to start outlining your plan a little bit better. So in the first week, the 6 steps for manifesting your desire. Like the second one is to create the plan for its accomplishment. And so in that situation, your plan might include using a contractor that might have, different higher organizing skills than you have. Or for me, like maybe to use a drafting person for some of my projects, because that's a part that I don't want to have specialized knowledge in. But the organization of the knowledge is the second half of that lesson. The 5th lesson is about imagination, where we talked all about synthetic imagination and creative imagination. And synthetic imagination is like reinventing the wheel. Like the wheel's already there, we already know what it does, but maybe you have created like a new material that the wheel is made out of. So you're basically taking knowledge and information that's already out there in the world, but you're adding your own spin on it. Creative imagination is basically like plugging yourself into God or infinite intelligence and downloading new content, new information to add to the world. And gosh, I think that's probably one of the most important lessons that we've had so far. Week 6, all about decision. And I feel like it came at a good time because, maybe people were not really set on what their goal was that they wanted to accomplish, what you want to accomplish. And so the decision, just making it and moving forward. We talked about procrastination and how that is like the number one thief of success. I use the analogy of a crock pot. Like you need to make a decision, you need to put it in the crock pot, and it's okay to let it be and let it process or cook or whatever. But the important thing is to make the selection, the decision, and move on. Week 7, lesson 7 is all on persistence. I shared how many coaches that coach on this book have their students read the chapter on persistence for 14 days straight. And that in and of itself is something that you make yourself do, and you're persistent. I guess I'm using the word in the definition, but you're persistent in that behavior and you do it no matter what. And, it's very much the hustle side of things, but I think it also speaks to the flow and the alignment, is because it's like Elizabeth Gilbert talks about the muse, like just sitting down at your desk and opening yourself up to the muse, the creative guidance from the universe, is a habit that you have to practice. And habits are established through persistence. There's lots of tools in that chapter, in the chapter on persistence. And definitely, it's one of the important chapters, but I feel like it's a practice like many things that you need to just do. Week 8, that will be this week, we talk all about the power of the mastermind. And the mastermind, I share how it can be a physical group of people, or it can be like an imaginary group of people. And we go through exercises to discuss both of those concepts, the traditional concept of a mastermind and the spiritual or psychic concept of a mastermind. So that's a really cool chapter, and I'm looking forward to publishing that tomorrow. So I hope that you enjoy getting that in your inbox. And I guess for the wrap up of just this summary, I want to say, like, I know, for myself, I tend to get off track and forget like what my purpose is, or that I've committed to something. And honestly, the cards that you wrote on in your very first, your very first goal, decision, or your definite purpose, like those are really important to write it down physically, because that writing down is the very first manifestation of that goal. It's in physical form, a piece of paper. That's physical form. And it's like, gaining momentum towards accomplishing it. So I hope that you're following along. I was going to start taking the videos off of YouTube, but I decided to just leave them all on until the end of the 11 weeks. And then I would get some feedback from those of you that are taking the class, and figure out how I want to move forward next. And just thank you for watching. I hope that you are having a really fabulous week.